baby, boom, baby. So I thought I'd try something new and just talk this way over the screen, talking about Auburn football, and I thought it might help you to kind of lead you around what I'm talking about. So I got to thinking, what are some of our transfers doing? And they're not doing much, honestly, is the ones that transferred out. And then I started thinking about our secondary and why it's suffering, honestly. We lost a lot of talent, and I don't know if we brought in the guys that to replace them that were hits, for example. I just think we had a few misses. Like, man, I like J.C. Hart. He was a good player. Quan was a good player. Terrence Love was a damn good player. And then one of my favorites I thought had the highest ceiling, Tyler Scott was a damn good player. He had a lot of potential. C.J. Johnson was a good player. And we still haven't even gotten to one of my favorites. Of course, we brought in Pleasant, which is a good signing. And looks like we're kind of doing this over, looking for my guy. Where's my guy? Oh, Keontae Scott gone. He was a good player. I mean, he got shit, honestly, and he was a pretty damn good player. Like, he made some mistakes, but he was the best we had. And I think it's obvious of that now. Caleb Wooten was a good player. That's a lot out of the secondary. And I don't care how good you are, which we did have a ton of depth. That's why they left, is because we had a ton of players vying for playing time. I don't care how good you are. Our secondary has been hurting since losing all those guys. When we brought in some guys, Jacoby Matthews, who made a lot of big plays at Texas A&M, hadn't really seen the field. I had made significant plays. Tay Seymour from Georgia Tech, hadn't really seen much from him. We got two freshmen that are supposed to be up, doing things, and they're not really doing anything yet. Quan Robinson's been kind of hit or miss. He's been all right, and Caleb Harris has had a really bad year. I mean, I saw him get burned by Ryan Williams in high school, and I thought, I don't know about this guy, honestly. But a lot of people got burned by Ryan Williams, and it wasn't. I mean, I knew Ryan Williams was future Jerry Rice. I dibbed in that in high school, or like a sophomore. I was like, that's the young Jerry Rice, and obviously my eyes don't lie on that. But I just saw him get flat-footed against Ryan Williams and just get absolutely blown by, and I've just seen that a lot recently. I wonder what's going on with Caleb. He might be one of those guys you want to try to move down into linebacker eventually, because he's a good ball player, good solid tackler. I mean, put 10, 20 pounds on him, he could be a linebacker. I'm just not sure how well he's going to be suited for the pros, for example, to be a safety. Honestly, you got to run faster than that, but we'll see. He's still a young player, just a true sophomore. He played really good last year, made a lot of plays, surprised me last year. But I think that's one of the major points of this game. Let's look at Oklahoma. Oklahoma, man, as I was looking at them earlier, they're still a pieced-together team, all right? They're not a complete team yet. Mateer is a great quarterback, good quarterback, I should say, but he hasn't even played an SEC game yet. He's going to go through some lumps in the SEC for sure, and something that's not going to help him is look at there. They got a freshman left tackle. He might be good, but he's a freshman. I mean, he's going to take some lumps. This offensive line is pieced together from the bullcrap that they had last year, that all their receivers are new. Their defense is pretty damn good. From what I've seen so far, they've pieced together. What do you expect from a Brent Venables team? The defense is going to be strong, but they're not, world beaters. So let's say that. They can get got. They got an experienced group. I like that group, but, there's not anybody on that team that's just like, oh my God, this guy. It's just a bunch of guys together. Like their ends are not making a ton of. I mean, they're good. Marvin Jones Jr. is a good player. Everybody knows who he is if you watch SEC football. But their ends are they're not getting a ton of production from here. I mean, they got a good, solid defense. Every single one of these guys is pretty damn good. But it's not anybody that's just like, oh, that's a first-round draft pick right there. You know what I mean? So, these guys can get got. Of all due respect. It's just not scaring me. They're a solid defense. What scares me is our defensive backs covering these guys. And what I like to look at when I'm scouting is to look at who's actually getting the ball. You can get really caught up with all these weapons, quote-unquote weapons, and you lose track of who's actually getting the ball. Like, let's try to stop the guys who actually get the ball. And I watched Brad Law. He said one more guy who was catching balls, and I only saw those three. I guess somebody else is. These stats might not be completely accurate, but 3 or 4 guys who are really catching balls. He caught one ball. These kind of guys always scare me because they're like the type of guy that you're going to isolate on a safety or something, one of our slower safeties, and get good separation on a type of corner route or some type of route like that. Get his explosiveness to take advantage of the slow safeties. I love fast, quick safeties and fast, quick linebackers, and thank God we finally got some of them this year. At least linebackers wise. I mean, I love sideline to sideline linebackers. I always have. I don't like linebackers that can't run. I want to make the linebackers who can't run defensive ends, and safeties who can't run linebackers. Like I just love speed. I always have, and I'm a big like 4-3 type guy. But of course, you would in this day and age, you got to run some nick as your base and all that kind of stuff. But this is the first year, guys. This is the first year in a long time that, praise God, we don't have a goober at quarterback. This guy is legit. And yes, he still has some learning to do. And he's going to make mistakes. He's not going to be a perfect person. He's going to be, but he's a ball player. And he's, most importantly, just not a habitual mess up, honestly. Like Peyton Thorne, God, he can make some good throws. And all due respect, he took some hits and all that kind of stuff. But he was just, honestly, the word I want to say is fuck up. He was just a fuck up, man. He's just a perpetual mistake maker. And it seemed to happen at the worst times. And point A to point B, I don't want to just hate on the guy because good guy, good fella, everything. He's just not the best quarterback in the world. And this guy just strikes me as a much less prone to making those bozo plays. He makes a lot of ball player plays, is what I've seen. And I know he's not immune to making mistakes and whatnot, but I just don't think they're going to be the ones that's just like, what in the hell are you thinking type of mistakes. I could be wrong, and I don't want to jinx myself. Let's knock on wood. Get that out of us. Another thing that I'm concerned about, even though I saw their ends were not making much production, they're probably about to get some production against our ass. We saw not even a good pass rush blow past Mason Murphy, blow past Chaplin. As much as I want and hope and pray and everything else that they're going to be good, I've seen some lower competition just blow by them, and I didn't love that at all. But other than that, I think we should be able to run the ball pretty well. Hopefully we'll be able to hold up in the pass protection. That would be huge to give us just that extra half a second can make a difference in the game, honestly, in the passing game, especially on the road. Hopefully we can show good wherewithal. We're worried about our tight ends catching passes, but hopefully that won't be it. That would just be a one type thing. Won't be a thing in the future. That was just a bad ball. Things happen. So if I had to make a prediction right now, honestly, the more I look at it, I love Auburn plus 13.5 in a teaser, by the way. But the more I look at it, I'm really thinking, all right, so what are they going to do to us, honestly? They're going to try to throw the ball. They don't run the ball very well. Their running back has like 43 yards on the season. They're going to try to throw the ball. Mateer's going to try to run the ball on us. He might be their leading rusher on the night, but they're going to try to run the ball. They don't have a bad run, right? It's Oklahoma. It's an SEC team. They have a pretty decent running attack, but it's that offensive line that's pieced together. They're not the best. They're not the worst. They're better than anything we've faced so far. I'll tell you that. They're the best thing we've faced so far. And Baylor had a hard time. Nobody's really run the ball on us. I don't suspect them running the ball that much on us, honestly. So that makes them one-dimensional. That makes them easier to stop. Hopefully we can get them in third and longs, second and longs, because they can't really run the ball, and that makes them more predictable, and we can pin our ears back. And we got, Crawford's been growing up in front of our eyes. I'm impressed, but I don't want to sing his praises too much because he's made some real dipshit plays, honestly, over the last year or so watching him. I like him, but, we just got to avoid those plays, and what gets that is experience, and, you can't get better on a horse if you're not riding a horse, right? So, anyways, I really do suspect a close game. The only reason why we're not favored, in my opinion, is because it's at home and they don't really know what we have like we do. And our defensive backs have been getting destroyed. Like, let's just say our defensive backs have been doing great. It might be an even pick-em game, and I think it's probably more like 50-50, matchup predictor. Because without that, we have a pretty damn solid team. And I know they do too. But Mateer's already thrown. I hate people who get way too into stats because every interception, every touchdown has a story. But at the same time, he's not perfect, man. He is not perfect at all, and he's going to take some lumps in the SEC. As I said before, they don't really have I guess that's the other guy Brad was talking about that was catching balls as a tight end. I should have assumed that they were throwing in the tight end some. So there's 4 guys basically that are catching balls, and we got to watch out for that little white guy trying to sneak out. Of course, you got to account for everybody on every play, but there's just got to be more attention to the guys who actually get the football, and it just blows my mind how much that is overlooked. And all the different stats and all the different things that people look at. I feel like they get blinded by all these different numbers instead of the things that really mattered. Like just the other day, everybody was talking about Geno Smith in a dome. Geno Smith in a dome. I don't give a crap about any of those type of stats. What a man has done in a dome versus not. It's very obscure stats. How many times has he played in a dome? Not that many. Who did he play in a dome? Like things like that matter. You can't just be like, oh, well, he's good in a dome. It's still the guy. At the end of the day, it's still the guy is the guy that he is, and that's what I hate about Peyton Thorne, because he's going to be who he is. You can only teach them so much because they're going to be who they are. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So I expect us to be able to move the ball. We were able to move the ball last year. We're going to be able to score. They're going to be able to score because our defense has not shown much. But I do expect us to play better. I think we're going to play our best game of the year. Call me crazy, because of the embarrassment that we had and because of some of the emphasis we're going to have this week. And I think they're going to show up with something to prove. Caden Lee is actually a really good player. He hasn't had the best start to this season. Jay Crawford's a future NFL player. We got to knock it down on our safeties. Our safeties are sucking dick, honestly. Sylvester Smith. Hopefully Champ is going to come back. So, that's who I would run out there is Sylvester Smith and Champ, and maybe try to get Matthews in the game too. Like somebody who can do some confidence, I wouldn't abandon Caleb Harris or anything. We cannot have him out there. I've seen him on multiple plays, and I could get the highlights where he just kind of looks lost, looks standing around in multiple games, and he's one of the ones that's on my shit list right now. Crawford was, and then he's not because of the game he had last week. And Crawford played great, so it's not something you can't get off my shit list, and I'm sure he can turn it around, and we'll forget all about that. He gets about 3 or 4 picks or big old tackles. We'll just forget all about his early season struggles. But I just wonder what's going on in his head, honestly. But yeah, Crawford's been tearing it up, but hey, we're about to play some real boys, so we'll see how it goes. Instead of picking on the little kids, some of the tackles we've gone against recently were just a joke. But you see Sawyer's leading the freaking nation in passing yards, so maybe it's not all so bad, because he's a damn good quarterback. Honestly, I was impressed by him. So going into these next 3 games. Huge games coming up, obviously. I would challenge them to absolutely shoot for the stars offensively. Like, let's put on a streak, boys. Like, I know this whole big time players make big time plays in big time games, right? This is the time we need to show up. Like, let's go on a streak. Let's set a team goal that we're going to score a touchdown every single quarter through these next 3 games. Call it 4 games. That's our goal. We'll take it. Let's take it 3 games. 3 games in a row. We're going to try to score a touchdown every single quarter. Defense, offense, whatever, special teams. Like, that should be the team goal. And we're going to take this in little segments and quarters, We got to win each quarter. We got to lock down on the 2 minutes before half, 2 minutes before the end of the game. Absolutely beast mode time. Like, 2-minute offense should be our bread and butter. We have absolute confidence that we're going to score. We're not going to do dumb shit. We're not going to do turning the ball over. We're going to take care of it, but at the same time, we're not afraid to make a mistake. We just don't want to do the absolute dumb shit. All right, mistakes happen. There's excuses for mistakes. Mistakes. It's you're a human being. We're playing a football game. Things happen. Dumb shit. There's no excuse for that. There's no excuse to be doing just uncalled for dumb shit. And that's what I can't stand. That's what Peyton Thorne does. That's what, honestly, I've seen Jackson do a little bit of, but you can see the refrain. He's got some refrain. He's pulling it together, and he knows that's what he needs to work on. So I have all the faith in the world that he's going to do good things and just not do those terrible things to cost us. Running the ball, man, Jeremiah Cobb's been a beast, man. I've really been impressed with him throughout the year. He's just he's tough as nails, man. He just reminds me of a Navy running back on steroids, honestly. He's a good running back. And Austin's coming back. I'm super excited about that. Hopefully, he can keep his shoulder in. But he's a damn good back. I still remember from a young man coming in against Alabama, scoring that touchdown and whatnot. I mean, uh, he's we've come a long way, man. And I'm just so thankful and grateful that we have a quarterback now that's not a goober. And these next 3 games are going to be tough, but Texas A&M Speedway, everybody's got problems, man. You can zone in on our problems all day, get all anxious and blah, 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 like, oh, we're not perfect. Every single team we play is not perfect either, you know what I mean? Oklahoma is, I'm telling you, they're just pieced together. They're overranked right now. I mean, they're good. They're a good team, but we're about even. We're about even team. I mean, I would say that we're really picking hairs to pick the better team. It's going to be a close game. They're at home. I would lean a little bit towards them. Maybe if I had to make the odds, maybe like Oklahoma -1 or 2. Honestly, if I was, but that's just because they're at home, and our secondary sucks. So I don't count like if on them having to. It might be a who's got the ball last kind of game. Like if they have the ball driving down, and they don't give us enough time to score, and they're smart about it, I don't like our chances. But at the same time, man, I would love to see Caden Lee or Crawford or somebody step up like, y'all been doubting me. I'm a damn good player, and somebody pick that ball off, run it back, make a play. It's been the longest time since I've seen our defensive back really make a play on a ball that's just like, I'm going to get this, I'm going to take it. Like, we do a lot of batting, and I know that's how you teach it, and you want to be safe, and sometimes that is the right thing to do. But let's remember that we're playing football, and we want to take it the other way and score. At all points of the game, you can never forget that the point of the game is to get that football and go into the end zone with it, all right? So at any time, again, from any position, from anybody, anywhere, we're trying to get that football. It's not all about knocking his ass out, which those are fun. Everybody loves that. But it's not all about that. It's about getting the ball. So I don't care if you knock his head off and you don't get the ball, and if you just barely able to poke the ball and you get the ball, that's so much better than knocking his head off, because we got the ball in the game of football. We got to get the ball, you know what I mean? So I guess ran over. It's been almost 20 minutes. It's hard to upload these long videos, but I guess I'm going to do more because it does give me more time to talk. I could go on and on and on, and I want to get different little things, make videos from my cap cut and whatnot, so cap it up and do the sections, and all that kind of thing. I'm going to work on making some more better videos for y'all, hopefully with some better quality, because I actually do know what I'm talking about. If you follow me, I do a picking service also. We're having a good year. We're like 12-4 over the NFL last week. The college, I'm still trying to step it up more, but we're still winning, and I've been around this game my whole life. I love it. The only reason why I'm not a coach or something is because of some of the bad decisions I made in my teenage years, about 15 through 21 or 22. I was on a crazy party mode, and I didn't really live the little box life that you need to live, I feel like, to really get into those circles. And but it is what it is. I still love football, still know football very well, and do not be surprised at all if we win this football game, I'm telling you. And I do love the teaser, so I guess we would tease it up to 13.5, and I might take it somewhere else, but I want to keep it simple, stupid. That's my mantra, to tease the over or the under, because I'm not really confident we goes over 40 at the same time. I'm not super confident. I think it does, though. I'd probably go over 40 if we get to tease it down. I'm not super confident in that, though. I'm not just like, oh, I love that, because I could totally see us like 17-14 type game with a lot of field goals. I don't know how much either team is that great on offense and putting it in the end zone. I think we'll get it in there, but maybe in just like 2 or 3 times max each. I could be completely wrong on that. We could get into a score fest, but I just see 2 or 3 touchdowns max each. But maybe our offense comes out and like we do what I said, or be a goal to score a touchdown every quarter. We score a touchdown every quarter, we're going to win at least 2 or 3 of those games, probably 3. And that those touchdowns can come special teams, defense, anyway. We just got to consistently put points on the board. That's the name of the game. We got to stop them from scoring points, and we got to score points. Football's not that complicated, man. People always try to make it overcomplicated, go with a million different blah, 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 blah. That's my least favorite thing about coaches. And one of my things that my coach used to always say is it's not that complicated, and you got to get the kids to get to that level where it feels like it's not that complicated to them, because there ain't nothing on this whole field, no formation, no play, no anything that is any more than you playing football. You're playing a football play. Never forget that, because coaches, they drive me crazy. They get you thinking, and it's just like we're doing a rocket science out of some textbook that we've never read before in another language, and they just make it so complicated. They want you to be thinking about all these like different and these are football players. Like, you're supposed to go play football, and you can't be thinking and playing football. Like, when you're playing, you gotta be playing. Like, anything you're doing, kind of like a song, you're lost if you're thinking, oh, C, D, E, every 1, 2, 3, 4. You're lost. You gotta feel it. You gotta feel it as we go, and you gotta be opportunistic and be free enough to pounce on those opportunities, instead of being like, oh, I'm supposed to go to point A to point B, but who cares if the football just came out right there? You know what I mean? Like, there's always a wild play ball variable to whatever you're doing, and I'm not saying override what you're supposed to be doing too much, but there's a time when it's obvious that, yes, whatever you're supposed to be doing, let's do something else. You know what I mean? It's obvious. You just gotta, make an executive decision sometimes. Like, coaches can't be in there in your ear every 2 seconds and telling you exactly what to do. You gotta make an executive decision and play ball. These are guidelines. This is what I'm coaching you. This is what I'm teaching you to do. This is what I want you to do in most circumstances. But there's always that but. You can play ball. You know what I mean? So, anyways, that's my long rant. I could go on and on, but War Eagle Auburn family, is there anything else I want to say? No, not really. We're going to have to contain that John running the ball, spies, different types of coverages. Looks like zone, it's man. Looks like man, it's zone. Let's act like we're bringing a safety. We're not. Cornerback looks like he's in coverage, but he's really coming. Just lots of disguises, man. Man coverage in the slot. Like, have him like, oh yeah, I'm in the slot. I'm gonna get you. Like I'm ready to cover you. Just chomping at the bit to cover. And then just bring him on the blitz just out of nowhere. That's where you gotta trick them, man. You can't let them know anything at all. Like. Everything, like, you should be ploying the whole time. Like, football is so much of a game of hide and seek in a way, but we're in a big field, open field. Like, you never want, like, when you're running the ball, you never want the guys to know where you're going. And that's what some of the great ones are so good at, the nuances of that. And some of our guys are not that great at that, honestly. And it's like, they don't play the game as deceptive enough. A lot of these guys are straightforward, and there's a lot of admirability, or whatever you want to say. It's admirable to be that way in life, oftentimes. But this game is for tricksters. You need to be a trickster. You need to be a little devil. You need to be a Loki. You ever seen the old story of Loki? Look that up, where he'll do the right thing 9 times, and then on that 10th time he's going to trick you. That's a lot of what football is. Like, you got to have a plan. Like, this is deception. I am doing 3 or 4 things in a row purposely to deceive you to do this one thing to really gut you. And that's a lot of what it is. Offense, defense, whatever it is. It's a lot of deception. We can't be just these straightforward, I'm going to shoot you straight type. No. Like, that's just not that's not how football works. Football is about taking advantage of opportunities, deception. It's about controlling, dictating is a better word. It's about dictating at all times. We're going to be dictating what we give on defense. We're going to be dictating what we're willing to do on offense. It's all about dictation. I could go on and on and on and on about it, but it's about dictating, and they're always going to be trying to dictate, and we have to be the dictators. Basically, I could go on and on about that. I'm just kind of rambling now, but War Eagle Auburn family, let's put the good juju out there. if I had to make a final score prediction, Auburn 24, Oklahoma 17. But it'd probably end up being a weirder score than that, like somehow we get to 19 or something like that. You know what I mean? Like somehow, I don't even know how we get to 19, but you do somehow, some way, like a weird football score. So we'll say 25 to 19 or something, like some weird score like that. So I expect a high level football game. It might go higher than that, but we shall see. War Eagle, Auburn family.